Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to the Pipe Report. So I googled Abraham Lincoln, and I wanted to see just what popped up. And I saw something pretty interesting, and I think it really solidifies the type of political environment that we are in at the moment. If you look at, you see these main icons, but if you look toward the right, Abraham Lincoln was an American politician and lawyer who served as 16th president, blah blah, height, blah blah, sass, blah blah, party. National Union Party. The National Union Party. I believe this should say Republican Party. Now, I'm not a Republican. I think today's Republicans are not actually conservative at all. However, do you see what is happening here? They are disassociating Abraham Lincoln from the Republican Party because they want to try to get everyone to label all the Republicans as a certain type of disgraceful people. It helps the agenda. It helps their agenda unfurl if they can actually pinpoint that this new Republican Party is synonymous with the alt-right movement. To that regard, they're nothing but white nationalists and white supremacists. I think that is the main goal here. I did a video before, way in the past. When you typed in fascism on Google, you came up with a right-wing ideology, and I recently debunked that. Google is the main source of information. It has the most popular search engine in history. Everyone uses Google. And yet, whenever they type something in now, how do we know that they're getting accurate information? We know that they aren't. We know right here. It doesn't say Republican Party. They're disassociating Abraham Lincoln with the Republican Party. Now, as a fiscal conservative and a libertarian, I would have to say I'm a classical liberal. I am not a Republican. But it's no secret that Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. He was in the Republican Party. He was the first Republican president. Them trying to change it here doesn't actually change history. And then you see these pictures here of people that are actually damaging these statues of Abraham Lincoln. He was the man who freed the slaves. And they are viewing him now as a disgraceful human being. They're viewing him like he was a bad person in his life. And you know what? It's actually interesting because if you look at Abraham Lincoln's history, he actually did do quite bad things, especially when he was president during the Civil War. So I'm not going to say he's never done anything wrong because I should actually do a video on that. I heard on Tom Woods, Dr. Woods, he did a story on Abraham Lincoln once that was crazy. And let's really try to find that for you because it's really interesting. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. That's beside the point. Abraham Lincoln was Republican. By trying to disassociate with him, what you're trying to do is label the Republicans synonymous with the alt-right. With anyone then who views the alt-right, they have to then automatically agree with them. So basically, when you say right-wing, it's now encapsulating everything from alt-right to Republican to white supremacy to KKK to blah, 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 blah. They're putting it one specific group. It's all about politics. It's a political agenda. And it's sad. These people here, the man preserved the Union. The man freed the slaves. And look at the type of treatment he gets. It looks like we see Vice News tweeting out that it's time to blow up Mount Rushmore. Then we see people like Al Sharpton saying that he wants to remove statues of Jefferson and George Washington. It's this political landscape, this modern society we live in is just insane. It doesn't matter whether you agree or disagree with the actions of our founding fathers. They are a part of history. And for better or worse, you are here today because of them. You are able to do disgusting acts and do hate speech because of them. Because what they stood for what they committed treason for. People seem to neglect that part. They seem to neglect that these founders gave up everything, that they knew they were signing their death warrants when they declared their independence from England. They knew that it was possible they would have died. And if they lost the Revolutionary War, they surely would have died. But people don't want to look back at that. People only want to think that, no, they are bad people because they had slaves. Everyone had slaves back then. That isn't condoning slavery. It just means it was a common thing at the time. But things have changed. We have evolved as a nation. Why regress back to a time when there's hostility between one another? Why regress back to a time of political discourse and social disobedience between one another? It's time to actually grow together, to accrete, not drift apart anymore. Not damage statues like Abraham Lincoln, who freed the slaves, who preserved the Union. Not say that Thomas Jefferson and George Washington are racist and they should have their statues taken down. Not saying we should blow up Mount Rushmore. This is insane. It is pathetic. And this political atmosphere we are in desperately needs to change. And this type of stuff right here, Wikipedia and people on Google, they're basically changing history right in front of you, and you don't know it. Like I said in that video, when you typed in fascism instead of right-wing ideology, and I knew better because I knew it wasn't a right-wing ideology, but if somebody, let's say a young kid, heard people call Donald Trump a fascist, and they're curious what exactly fascism is, and then they type it in, first thing they see is a right-wing ideology. So in their minds, well, that makes sense because Trump ran as Republican, and by extension, the Republican is right-wing. So you see what happens here. Do you see how they do this? To try to slowly manipulate your mind, brainwashing you to follow a specific ideology. We got to be careful about that. We really have to be careful that this doesn't happen because it is happening every day. It's important to call this stuff out. So if whoever watches this video, if you see anything else when you Google something that isn't right, make a video about it or email someone who does make videos. Let me know. I will make a video about it because it is important to get this stuff out, to get the truth out. The truth is all that matters, nothing else. Regarding politics, it doesn't matter, but it's about politics, about sociology, psychology, it doesn't matter. All that matters is the truth. And I'm done.